What's the biggest threat to your business right now? This is a lesson that I learned in a fight I almost got into with Gary Vaynerchuk. Hey guys, it's Dustin Oldfather from the Oldfather Group of Sotheby's International Realty and owner of Motto Mortgage Prosperity. I was invited onto a local podcast this week, and the conversation came up about social media and about Gary Vaynerchuk, and it reminded me of a conversation that I got to have with Gary. We went to an event in Miami and got to have dinner with Gary, kind of going around and talking about our businesses and our strategies. Gary Vaynerchuk, for those of you who don't know, is a really high-profile social media consultant and pioneer, a bit of a philosopher as well, but has been dialed in with a number of startups, Uber, Twitter, like founding venture capital. It's someone who, as a young person, came here, worked in his father's liquor store, and then bootstrapped it all the way up, started with nothing, and now has moved on to multi-millions. With a big goal to hopefully buy the New York Jets one day. So I'm rooting for you, Gary. Anyway, in this conversation, Gary and I were going back and forth, and I was a little frustrated because his goal was, hey, you should be indexing on social media. And I said, that's great. The challenge with social media is I have these other platforms and these other lead sources and places where we were generating businesses where I have a bona fide, documented return on investment. And so I know how much we're going to make if we spend X, that we're going to return Y, our margin is this, and then we'll have some overheads in there, which would be your Z. We had something that we felt really good about, which is a stable business, and hearing, well, you should shift your spend into something that is not quantifiable, which is attention and impact and a presence online, seemed a little reckless to me. And so we kind of went back and forth on this, and Gary, in fairness, really took some time to think about our situation, and after some back and forth said, hey, you know what, that's a great part of your business. Keep that, but index as much as you can into social media. And here's the reason. This is the biggest risk to all of us today. It is the attention of the consumer. If you think about how you're watching this right now, you're watching it on a phone or a tablet. You're probably not watching it on TV. Our attention has now been diverted to one place. We're not, as Gary said, people aren't looking at billboards anymore. They're driving down the road. They're not even looking at the road. They're looking at their phones. And so all of the attention for the consumer has moved into one place. And as he also shared, he said, I shouldn't even be telling you this. He said, because since there's only one channel of attention, someone can only be really focused on one thing at a time. I mean, second screen while somebody's watching television or something, a little different dynamic. But really, you can only be focused on one thing at a time. And if we think about that as a consumer or somebody who works with consumers and clients, there's only a limited amount of time per day that's available for attention on whatever it is you do in business. And so while we may not be aware of it, all of the attention that's being consumed is also crowding out the attention for our vision and our purposes and our businesses. The biggest threat to business right now is the loss of attention and being disintermediated by people who are creating great content. And great content means providing value to people that they're looking for, answering common questions, and making sure that people are getting the information that they need. More people consume as far as content goes, the more people know, like, and trust you. And that's part of the process of the digital consumer these days. Good time to double down on your strategy. Think about how you are going to create value for clients in the social media space, as well as every other channel that's available, and make sure that you protect your business.